Hey, welcome back to Karen's Papercraft. Thank you very much for watching. Wat leuk dat je weer kijkt. Dankjewel. Now when I saw this stamp set with that cat that goes, kiss, kiss, I just knew I had to have it. I think it will make a nice Christmas card for a cat lover. Not perhaps so much for someone who has a fish tank, but never mind that. The video will show you how you can make a card like this. Here you have a closer look at the card that I've made with the stamp set, and I'm going to start with showing you the supplies that I've used. So I'll put my card over here. Of course, oops, there goes my pile. North Pole Mischief, the stamp set. I'm using the Red Rhinestone Basic Jewels, Versamark ink, Garden Green and Early Espresso, G-Block. I'm using the Window Pane Check ribbon. I'm using a number of blends, and you can find all the details of everything that I've used on my blog. And I'm going to use the stitched rectangles as well. And I'm using the Pearlized Enamel Effects, the white one. I keep them in a container on my desk. There's black, there's white and there's red. And this is the puff paint, which I'm going to be using to create Christmas cards as well. So I have all my supplies. Then I'll continue by showing you the stamped image. So the cat on the mat with the fish in the bowl. I am going to use my Stamparatus for this because I want to use my Versamark as well, and I'm going to stamp in Early Espresso and Versamark to create an image which I'm going to heat set, which means that colouring with your blends is much easier. At least I find it's easier to do that because you can't colour over the lines as easily because the lines are raised because of the embossing. So I have here a piece of basic white which is 4 by 2.5 inches, and I'm going to put that in my Stamparatus. Then I'm putting my stamp on top and I position it in the middle. Then you pick up the stamp and then you can do your stamping. I'm going to secure this. I'm going to stamp in Early Espresso and Versamark, put emboss powder on top and then heat set it. I'll show that to you and I'll speed up for that. But I've now explained to you what I'm going to do. I'm going to use the stitched rectangles to die cut this image, and this is the 5th largest. Am I saying this right? Let me just check. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, it's the 5th largest. And then I am using these Pearlized Enamel Effects to make the berries of the mistletoe. And I did make one yesterday because this stuff needs a bit of time to dry. I don't know how long. I usually leave it overnight. So you just take your bottle and then you squash the bottle. You get a droplet and then touch the paper and move your bottle back up again, and then you see you get these individual berries, and they will go down a bit. There was a pointy bit in the beginning, but they will settle down and then they become rounded berries like this. Here I've even put the two a bit too close together, but never mind. So I'm putting this one away. Did I put the cap back on? Yes, I did. Clever. So do leave this soft to dry for a while. I think the drying time would depend on how big your dots are. I just take nothing for granted and leave them to dry overnight. So that's the cat image. Then I'm going to show you how to make the elements of the card. This is an A4 sheet of garden green, and I'm going to cut this down. And first I'm cutting it down to 5.5 inches. So you could get 2 cards out of one sheet easily. This is now 5.5 inches by 8.25. If you work in US size, of course you can leave it at 8.5, no problem at all. Then, because my card is 8.25, I'm going to score it at 4 1/8 of an inch. If you work in US size, you could leave it at 4 1/4. Yeah, I did say this right. So you can fold and burnish your card. Then I've taken the Gingham Cottage Designer Series paper, and of course this was a 12 by 12 sheet. What I've done is I've cut off a 4-inch strip. So this is 4 inches, and then you can cut that into 4 parts of 3 inches. This is 4 by 3 inches, so it means you can get a lot of mats out of your one sheet of 12 by 12 cardstock. So this is the mat that I'm going to use, and I'm going to put some ribbon underneath the image as well. So here's my ribbon, and you need about 2 inches, so I'm just measuring that and then cutting. And I'm using my mini glue dots to secure this. So you fold your ribbon in half, and then you put, I just folded it in half to make sure that it's long enough, that what I've cut. Then you put a mini glue dot on one end, and then you fold it double, and then you put another one on the folded one, there, and you can stick that under the mat with the image, and you want it to stick out a bit, so, and this is then secured, do you see? Now then, my card is ready to be put together. I'm going to put this mat on at an angle. And I'm looking for an angle which is about 1/4 inch and just over 1/4 inch there, and then you can put that one on straight. And those of you who watch my channel more often know that I always put some seal in the middle of my cardstock and then the Tombow glue around it, because my cardstock will float on the Tombow. See, I can still move it, and when I'm happy with where it is positioned, I can press down in the middle, and then it doesn't slide away anymore. So that's the card. Of course you want some Christmassy thing on it as well. I mean, just the mistletoe isn't enough. And for that I'm using a sentiment in the stamp set, Merry Merry, and the G block. I'm going to stamp this in garden green as well, and I'm going to flag that. And this, by the way, is a 1/2 inch strip of scrap, and well, I've just checking if my stamp is inked. See, it's 1/2 inch, and the length doesn't really matter. It has to be long enough for it to stick out there, but I'll show you in a minute. First let me do the stamping. I hope my head is not in the camera, and I've noticed that my stamp is not exactly in the middle, so I want it a bit up. There, you see? Here it's in the middle, but there it's not really. It doesn't matter when you know that. And of course with your half-inch strip, you do want to be able to stamp in the middle of it. Right, then I'm going to do some cutting, and I'm cutting halfway, and then from that end to that end. And that's all there's to it. And I think I'm going to adhere this with some tear and tape. So I'm just putting a strip of tear and tape on. Yeah, roughly there. So, a bit of pencil. You can use your Tombow as well if you like, but the tear and tape works fine for this sort of work as well. Now I want my pickup tool, and I can put my Mary Mary on and then cut off this end. Now my card is almost finished, because I did promise you the red rhinestone basic jewels. And I want my pickup tool again. I'm going to put 3 into opposite corners. Just lift one, a Christmas card needs a bit of bling, doesn't it? A Cut Lover's Christmas card. There are more details on my blog, and you can find the link in the description box below. I have some more videos for you to watch if you like. So thank you very much for watching. Dankjewel voor het kijken, and see you next time. Bye!